What's going on, guys? Teen Mechanic here. I'm sorry I haven't been around lately, but I'm bringing you a video tonight. It's actually only like 6:30 and it's already dark, so that's just how it goes. Anyway, I haven't uploaded a lot lately, but I did 2 live streams within the past week. The first one being the first one I've ever done. So I hope you enjoyed that. I mean, that was really fun for me to do. If you want more live streams in the future, please let me know. I will be doing more in the future, I'm sure, but I want to know what you thought, because that was really fun for me to do. I also did one on Novitez's YouTube channel. Go check out his channel. There will be a link in the description. Anyway, this video is about this. For those of you who are new to the channel, this is my 1973 Cadillac Eldorado. Well, actually, no. It's my 1973 Cadillac El Clasico. I just have to have the gumption to say it, because no one knows what an El Clasico is. I mean, everybody knows, I mean, most people know what an Eldorado is, but no one knows what an El Clasico is. I just need to say it's an El Clasico. So yes, this is my 73 El Clasico. And it is, I mean, it's a little worse for the wear. You know, I'm gonna walk around it here, but you know, this is a beautiful car. It's in pretty good shape. You've seen a video on the this guy on Katarina's channel, which there'll also be a link to in the description. I've also done you know, videos on this thing in the past, obviously, but I mean, you'll see it's missing a headlight. You know, I took that out to put in my LTD, which, yeah, that should be enough context in and of itself. Like, holy cow. Really eager to sell that thing. Runs beautifully, needs a new battery, but it runs beautifully. You know, there's no misfiring or anything anymore, so it's ready to be sold. Just have to put the wiper arm back on. Ready to be sold. But you know what? I'm getting off track. This video is about this car. Now, this truly is a beautiful car. It's just not in as good a shape as I'd like it to be. We bought this thing. Quick little backstory. We bought this thing back in 2013. My dad bought this. He had been, of course, it's kind of a typical story, but he had enough money. He thought, you know what, I'd like to buy a classic car. I've been, you know, looking for one for a while. So he shopped around a bit. He looked around, and, you know, long story short, he came across lots of convertibles. Like, so many of these things were convertibles, and, you know, 73, like, I think it was in the 80s, you know, like 80-something% of them were convertible. Everybody wanted a convertible. This thing is a hardtop. It's a coupe, and I personally, I'm not a huge fan of the ragtops. I like the coupes, or the hardtops, whatever you call it, and I don't know. I really prefer this style, quite frankly. But anyway, this was in BC. It was in Cranbrook, BC. And there's a lot of old cars out there for some reason. But anyway, we drove out there on our way to Creston, and there we bought it. I think it was like $4,000 or maybe less. It was not expensive. I feel like it was under $5,000, $4,000 or something like that for this thing, which was a smoking deal, quite frankly, even for what it is. Now there's a boom. Katarina and I were talking. I guess we thought, I mean, well, it was her point, but you know, we thought that, you know, people realize, well, they can get something like this that isn't even comparable to anything modern. It rides so much better than anything today for like a 10th, maybe a 20th, 30th, 40th, 50th, 70th, 100th of a price that you can get, or that you get a modern something or other, Bentley, whatever, for. Now, anyway, I mean, we got in right before the boom. But how this car was pitched to us was just a little bit different than was the case, because they told us that you can still see your reflection in the paint, which, I mean, honestly is true. You can still kind of see your reflection in the paint. How many fingers am I holding up? So anyway, I mean, my dad, you know, he looked at it and he thought, man, that is nice paint, and this is faded, quite frankly. It's been parked inside, but it's spent a winter outside, and I mean, it's had some problems with the paint. But anyway, at the time, it was a brand spanking new paint job. But we were not told that. We were told that this thing spent a its whole life in a garage, and that the paint had just been cared for immensely, and that this was all, it was taken great care of. Someone loved this, and it's immaculate. What we were not told is that it was a fresh, brand new paint job that was done by like Mako for $400. Because check this out. There are so many tape lines on this car where they just painted over stuff. They painted over everything. Rust that wasn't fixed. It's like, honestly, and the vinyl wasn't removed, obviously. You can see the vinyl wasn't removed. Like, check this out. This was not removed to paint the car. This trim probably was, but look at the sunroof. I mean, even this shows that it was painted over. Like, you don't paint over sunroof seals. So, anyway, I mean, this car had been painted, and it had been painted very poorly. Now, I mean, it still had these fillers for the bumpers at the time, and you know what it had was a big, giant chrome shroud. Signature, like almost coach built. I think it might have been coach built. I don't know. I still have to figure that out. You guys can let me know. Were the El Clasico's coach built? I don't know. But back here, which the trunk is shut, damn it. Back here is this shroud, and yeah, it has seen better frickin' days. Now, actually, it's wedged in there. There we go. All right, let's take it out. So yeah, you can see it's bent real bad. Now is when I ask you for help, because this is the one thing I really don't know exactly what to do. I'll tell you the story. It was bolted on underneath. You can see the line, obviously, very obviously. You can see the line where it was. And this is what you'd think, hey, that's the original color. Well, more on that later. But anyway, it was, I mean, that's where it was. It obviously wasn't mounted properly. And there was even some rust building up underneath. But anyway, what happened was, my dad was driving this back when he drove it nearly every day. And he was sitting in that seat, waiting at a stoplight. And then he hears this giant clang, bang, a-lang, a-lang, lang, 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 on the ground. That's what he said he heard. And he said to me that he thought, man, that must be embarrassing for somebody. And sure enough, I mean, he looked around. When you sit in this seat, you can't see, well, the shroud's in the way, but you can't see to the end of this football field. You just can't see the end of it. So he couldn't see that it had fallen off. So he thought, man, that must be embarrassing. Looked around, didn't see anything. And when the light turned green, he drove, and it was under, yeah, it went over this side, and he drove over it. Yeah, he drove over it, and he just drove for maybe a foot, and then he heard this giant loud scraping, like, metal on concrete, and you can see exactly the lip it even formed. And so this thing is shot. But I mean, he drove over it, and he stopped and got out, and it was under that back wheel. So he drove over it, and then it scraped. So anyway, so it's kind of ruined. Now the part I need help with is, you cannot, it's impossible. I challenge you, find one. Find a replacement. Find one on eBay. Even if it's $1,000, find one. You can find them for DeVille's far easier than you can find one for an Eldorado. And it's just, they're impossible to find. And if you do find one, it'll be $10,000. So, I mean, this thing, it can either be fixed or a new one can be made. Now, you guys have to let me know, should I fix it, or should I find a way to make one? If I fixed it, it would have to be all de-chromed and then re-chromed. Let me know how much that costs, because I'm pretty sure that would be probably over $1,000, and I can't afford that, so I don't know. In the meantime, I'm going to paint this color. More on the paint stuff, in a minute, but anyway, the other issues, I mean, obviously, we weren't told about this cracking Bondo and the cracks that go all the way back to here and the rust underneath these things. And like, we weren't told about that. If you want to see the rust, I'll show it to you. It's not major, but it's there nonetheless, and it would have to be fixed for sure. See? There's the rust. So you can see there's still a lot of work to be done. So anyway, now I'll tell you about the whole reason I'm making this video. The reason I'm making this video is because I have been thinking, you know, I would love to sell that and the Suburban, keep the DeVille for now, drive that in the winter, and daily drive this in the summer. The more I think about it, the more open I am to the idea. Now, yes, the transmission I'm worried about. Not like it's gonna fail, but if I daily drive it, things are gonna go bad, and I need to find replacement parts. Like my uncle said, need to find replacement parts before I can daily drive this thing. You know, I can't expect nothing to go wrong, and right now I can't really, like, I don't know where I'd get a transmission. If I did have to replace the transmission, I'd put an OD transmission in it. Anyway, point is, I'm making this video because I've been thinking I'd like to do something with this car. It's been sitting there for too long, right next to that thing for too long, and last night I got to thinking, okay, well, it occurred to me, there's a plate. I'm gonna just move the shroud here now, if you don't mind. Anyway, let's look under the hood for a minute. It occurred to me that GM on these things, they put the tags right there. So this guy, I looked at the paint code, because it's like a long lost fact about this car, what the original color was. Me and my dad couldn't figure it out. Nobody knew. We were like, well, what color was the outside? The interior, you can see, was clearly red at one point. Things wear off and you can see that it's red. I mean, you can clearly see that this interior used to be red. Now, there are also some white parts of it, and you think, well, was it red on white? Well, yeah, it was. There were a couple tiny white pieces, but it was red. So, I mean, usually they only put the red interiors on white cars. I knew that. But I thought, well, no, this thing couldn't have been white. So I went over to this VIN tag, and I looked at the paint code, which is 11 and 11J, or 11 and 11J. And I looked that up online. I looked up the 1970s or 1969 or something to 1978 or whatever the years were. Cadillac paint codes, paint colors. And I found out that this car was originally antique white. Then I found out I was mistaken. So I looked on 19 whatever to 19 whatever Cadillac Eldorado paint colors. And 11 and 11J means that the body color was cotillion white, I believe, is what it was. So that is what the color was. I think that's how you pronounce it. This was a white car when it was brand new. That is huge info. That's huge news, because, I mean, that's like an all-time secret that's been revealed. The 11J refers to this. This vinyl was white. So it was white on red, and I think that is pretty cool. Now, here's the thing. This video's gone on for long enough, but let me tell you the whole point. I'm thinking of painting this car. I am going to paint this car, obviously, at some point, but now I'm thinking in terms of restoring the body. Interior, I'm going to leave alone for a bit, but the body, I'm thinking, okay, I would like to get this thing repainted. I'm going to do it myself. Repaint it. Now, obviously, I would like to decide on a color. So, my initial thought was something like, well, you know, I'm thinking of going with another blue, something similarly colored, you know, lighter kind of blue, and the vinyl has to be redone, although I would rip the vinyl, after I got a quote, after I found out that everything could be done, I'd rip the vinyl off, do all the body work, door vinyl, trunk vinyl, get everything ripped off, and have them, all they would have to do is put the vinyl on. And then, you know, I'd do all the interior and trim and everything like that, but they just have to stitch the vinyl together. And I was thinking, you know, what would the color scheme be? Well, I'm thinking about going back original. I'm thinking about doing cotillion white or whatever. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like I want to do that. I'm kind of thinking, although, here's the thing. The interior is blue, and I'm sure as hell not changing the interior color. So, my thought was, well, maybe I should do instead of a white on red, I should do a white on blue. Now, you'll notice it has a pinstripe. That's not factory. Obviously, the original ones had a pinstripe that went across that line of the hood right there. And I think I'd go back with, instead of a red interior, red pinstripe, red vinyl, or I mean white vinyl, I would do white exterior, blue vinyl, blue pinstripe, blue interior, white on blue. I'm thinking about doing that. Now, I thought, that might not look so great. It might look kind of like a cop car, I'm not sure. But I think, the more I think about it, I think if this were white, and the interior was this kind of blue, and I got those fillers made and everything, and it was actually, a nice white, not like a stock white. It was like a beautiful white on blue. I think it would look pretty darn amazing. So anyway, my point of this video is I want you guys to let me know. I'm going to sell, I also want to let you know I'm selling the LTD and I'm selling the Suburban. I am doing that. There's nothing that can change my mind. I don't know, don't hold me to that, but in all seriousness, I have to sell the LTD and Suburban. Cadillac, DeVille, not sure about what to do with just yet. This thing, I am never selling, ever, so don't worry about that. It's not even like a money maker. This is not even, like, if I was destitute, I'd find some other way. Like, honestly, this is not a car. I mean, if I had to sell it to pay for some surgery for me or my family, yeah, okay, but I'm talking about for YouTube and for selling cars. This is not being sold. So anyway, I need to paint this thing, and I'm just wondering what I should paint it. What color? I'm thinking white right now. I'm thinking white. If you guys have another color, let me know. The other thing is, I thought about like this kind of amberish orangey color. If you take off this door panel, which falls off, and lift up on it enough, this whole thing loves to come off, and look at this color here. This, like, you guys have to just please let me know what in God's name is going on here, because there are so many freaking colors with this car I don't even know. It's currently Mako blue. It looks like the original color was seafoam green. As you can see, it looks like it used to be seafoam green. That looks like the original color. But then it looks like it was painted. But then it looks like it was originally like a coppery, ambery orange color, which was another color on these Eldorados. I have no idea. Every jam is painted seafoam green. This was obviously a seafoam green color at one point. It was a seafoam green car. But, like, I can't take this panel off, but we can try and look in there and see if maybe it used to be like, I don't know. Honestly, you guys have to let me know. So here's my dilemma. That VIN plate says that it was Cotilico or whatever the hell I just said. And the jams say that it was seafoam green. The exterior says it's this, and the door says that it was copper. Now, I'm thinking that, yeah, this thing could have been in an accident at some point or something like that. But honestly, I wonder if this thing used to be... Guys, you can tell I'm confused. I have no idea. So you have to let me know. Was it seafoam green? Was it white? Or was it copper? Please just tell me what it was and what it should be. Those are the two things I want to know. This video has gone on for way too long. Was it copper? Was it white? Or was it seafoam green? And should it be back blue? Should it be white? Or should it be something completely different? Let me know. Also, third thing I want you to comment, let me know what color the vinyl should be. Let me know what color scheme you want. Fourth thing, let me know if you want me to do more lives. Anyway, I am going to get out of here now. Honestly, this car is fantastic. It's dead, so I have to boost it to get it back into the garage. LTD going, it's on its way out. The Suburban is on its way out. So don't worry, I'm only keeping the coolest stuff, the DeVille. So anyway, if you'd like to see this project, follow along with it. Follow my Instagram, links in the description to both my Instagram accounts, Facebook, Twitter. I started a TikTok. I also I don't know, I have a Snapchat. I think I've opened it once, maybe 2 years ago. But anyway, Instagram is where you should follow me if you want to keep up. I also have Facebook, Twitter, and other stuff, but I never use it. So Facebook and Instagram are the two places I use. So anyway, let me know what you want to see, and let me know what colors this car is, should be, was, I don't know. Anyway, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye. Because no one knows who in Outlaw. No, shut up. No one knows. No. Because no one knows who. Oh my God.